Hello everyone, it's Emperor Candy Cuts of Kandai here, and today we have a multiplayer replay battle. It's a 3v2. The rules were, for attackers, 1 artillery, 1 pikeman, and 2 archers. For defenders, it was 1 artillery, 2 pikemen, and 3 archers. These are for each individual. Now we have Boii, me. We have Caledonii, Massaesily, Numidia, or Desert Realm, whatever you want to call it, Carthage, and Boii. Caledonii is the Empire Divided. There's no rules against the Empire Divided, and we allowed it since it was a 2v3. And plus, Caledonii is not that overpowered. So let's take a look at the setup. For Pontus, you have 2 pikemen, 4 mercenary Celtic warriors, 3 Eastern archers. I have this Eastern Bastion ballista on the wall artillery as equipment. I have a citizen cavalry. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 Pontic swords. Wait, let me count one again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 Pontic swords and a Pontic swords general. For Caledonii, you have the Caledonii Oathsworn bodyguard. He has his elite Highland archers and two Celtic archers. He has 4 Celtic sword band, 3 Celtic swordsmen, 4 Celtic swordsmen. So 4 Celtic sword band and 4 Celtic swordsmen. 3 chosen sword band, 4 chosen sword band. Yeah, so he has 3 types of infantry and 4 of each, 12 infantry. He has a Briton Bastion ballista. And then that's pretty much it. I think he had a... Yes, he has Wolfhound and Scatha Shadows. Okay, now on the attackers. Let's start with Boii. So Boii, you have a Celtic warrior and a naked warrior over there. You have 2 Celtic warriors, 3 Celtic warriors, and he has 4 naked warriors. You also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sword followers. He has 2 Oathsworn, 1, 2. Yeah, he actually has 4 Celtic warriors, 4 naked swords, 5 sword followers, 2 Oathsworn, and 2 Celtic bowmen. Now Carthage has Libyan hoplite, Libyan infantry, 3 mercenary Italian swordsmen, a sacred band, 3 Carthaginian hoplite, a late Carthaginian hoplite, and an African pikeman. Let me see, 3, 1, 2, 3, yes. He has a general bodyguard, noble cavalry, Carthaginian cavalry, Carthaginian heavy onager, and 2 mercenary Cretan archers. Now Masaesily actually brought 4 missiles, so he was a good source and he was good play, and he put his 2 extra missile units in the back, and he never used it. Now for his general, he's in armored Numidian riders. He has 2 desert cohort, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 desert legionaries, 2 slave infantry, 3 tribal slingers, 1 heavy Numidian skirmishers, 2 tribal slingers are here again, and then 1 African heavy onager. Let's start. So I'm going to fast forward until any action starts. Right now what is going on is I am firing at Carthage, and Caledonii is also firing at Carthage. He's firing at his Cretan archers. This is technically a time lapse. So what is going on is Boii is moving up, Carthage is also moving up, but Masaesily is only moving up his 2 slave infantry. They did not bring any tortoises, or they do not have tortoises. So right now he's trying to take out my arrow tower over here. Well, not mine, but he's trying to take out the tower. Right, so up here we got some action. Carthage was the first one to push up, and he's getting shot a bunch. He pushed up with a sacred band, 2 mercenary Italian swords, and a Libyan infantry. And his Libyan infantry is gonna go for this part of the section of the wall. These 2 are gonna deploy here, and the mercenary Italian swordsman is going to drop siege equipment. Over here, Boii pushed up with his 5 sword followers and 2 Celtic warriors. Masaesily went in a type of wave-like formation, which is not something you shouldn't do, and he started putting 1 slave infantry up here. As you can see, Carthage, using his torches, is breaking the wall. They actually did bring tortoises. They brought 2, and Carthage is the only one to use it. Actually, they brought 3. Where's the 3rd one? They brought 3 tortoises. I don't think they brought 3, actually. They brought 2. So it's just me. So, over here, Masaesily lands his slave infantry and gets pelted by javelin because slave infantry has 5 armor. Over here, Carthage destroyed the wall, so I'm setting up like a sort of kill thing magic like this, and if they come for here, I can shoot them from the back, etc, etc, and I have my eastern archers ready. He does land his 2 units. It was a mistake to land his sacred band as it got absolutely massacred. So the slave infantry are gonna go for the Caledonii Britain ballista, which got a chunk of Carthage's army. I also took a chunk of Carthage's army too. Over here, Boii is setting up his towers. There went the Caledonii ballista. Now I'm just letting my Pontic swords set their javelins. I attempted to have my citizen cavalry go for his artillery and his Cretans, but he had this bunch of hoplites protected them, and he was sending his Carthaginian cavalry to stop me. So I pulled him back. Now Boii actually does land, and his Celtic sword band, let's just say, didn't do quite well. Yeah, didn't do quite well against Boii. Now what is going on is he has 2 units here and 2 units here. 4 units, and he has 16, the rest of his army, 16 unit, is focused on Boii. So he's technically doing a 1v1 while I'm 1v2ing. Okay, so His Carthaginian cavalry charged into my Pontic swords and took 8 of them down. Or it was his artillery firing on my tower. Whatever, but his Carthaginian cavalry eventually routs. Not shattered, routs. And as you can see here, Boii is pushing up hard, and just these Celtic sword bands did not stop him. Yep, there goes well, not there goes, but the slave infantry is dying. You got the other slave infantry pushing up, so I send my mercenary Celtic warriors up there to finish them off. He did attempt, I thought he was pushing through, so I sent another unit of Pontic swords to help, but he wasn't actually pushing through. As you can see, there goes my tower from his artillery. Yep, Boii is killing Caledonii. Right now, I'm facing half of the Carthaginians, half of the Sacred Band of Carthage have their backs turned, and I'm shooting some mercenary Italians in the process. They do have a huge chunk of armor, but I'm still shooting at them. Well, that slave infantry is about to go, and this slave infantry is just getting wrecked by my javelins. This Celtic sword band isn't doing that great against Boii, and his Celtic archers aren't doing great either. Not right now, at least. As you can see, Carthaginian Cav did not pull out and ends up routing, but they do come back later. His mercenary Italian swordsman with the battering ram is breaking the gate, so I have a Pontic swords readying and aiming at it. Masaesily does send 2 Desert Legionnaire up there, and he tries to send 2 Desert Legionnaire up here, which you cannot land towers up there. Actually, Celtic archers did not do horrible, but they didn't do all that great for archers. These Celtic sword band only have 35 morale, even Celtic warriors have 45 morale. Empire Divided is completely not balanced at all, in my opinion. The Celtic sword bands are getting wrecked, as usual. Now over here he does land one of them, so I bring up my archers up there to shoot at them. I do later, so. Now he pushes 2 a Carthaginian hoplite and a late Carthaginian hoplite, which he should have pushed with the Libyan infantry, so I'm just gonna stop them with Pontic swords. Then I'm gonna send the other Pontic swords and hit them from the rear. This is one unlucky day to be an Italian mercenary, as he just walks through the gate and takes a lot of oil damage, as you can see how fast they're dropping due to oil. Right now, let's see what's going on. Yeah, these slave infantry are losing after I climbed up, and if I'm correct, I'm shooting them. Yeah, I'm shooting this unit of Desert Legionnaire. Where are they facing? Okay, I'm shooting from their front. Not the best angle, but I didn't have time back then, so I started shooting. I did shoot these Secret Band quite a bunch, and they lost 17 men. These are very expensive elite units. Now my Pontic swords are doing decent against these 2 hoplites, but I do eventually send this unit of Pontic swords to attack there. Let's check on Boii. So he put it in another unit of chosen, other unit of Celtic sword band, as the other one died, and this one also died. So Celtic swordsmen. Yeah, Celtic swordsmen are the better one. Celtic archers. Now he does go for my Celtic warriors that was on here, So I do move my archers over here to shoot him in the back. Do I? I think I did. Yeah, as you can see, my Pontic swordsmen have attacked these from the rear, but they're not getting the penalty because they're technically facing this way. Their Italian swordsman died, so I send my citizen cavalry to get their artillery. Now he has 13 Carthaginian cavalry left, which is definitely not going to stop me. He does move his Cretan archers up here, and I have a very good angle that I can hit them, but they can't hit me, because his range is like this. And so he technically can't hit me. I don't see his range, but he wasn't returning fire, so I assumed that, and I ended up pelting his Cretan archers. Over here, my buddy Caledonii isn't doing that well. 120 vs 105. His Cretan archers does get a few volley on my citizen cavalry, which is a shame, but I don't think they killed any. And I go for his artillery because I thought he still had ammunition. I'm not sure if he has ammunition. He does move his general up, so I just charge him. Over here, I'm shooting at him. I'm shooting at this user of Dennis and Legionnaire. I do realize it, and then I eventually move him up to shoot him from this angle. Not now, though. Yeah, now his hoplites I'm losing, and he's sending in another Italian. So I'm gonna send my Pontic swords to hit that Italian. I end up killing the artillery. Almost. Did I? I think I did. Yeah, I end up breaking them. And I was going for the Carthaginian cavalry, but I saw their mercenary Cretan archers exposed. He just tried to move up his African pikemen to stop me, but they weren't in formation, and my medium cavalry just watch this. Watch this. Bam! He knocks a bunch over, and I go for their Cretan archers. I don't get a ton of kills, but they're Cretans, they're expensive, they're useful, I got them. And the citizen cavalry just dies. A sacred band lost 29 men to my arrows. I'm still shooting him from the wrong angle, but he is moving, so I'm actually shooting him from the rear. Boii is trying to get a foothold against my Caledonii buddy. Pontic swords. Very good unit if I so do say so myself. At this point I run out of ammunition and I just keep it there. My Pontic swords start losing, so I put them on shield wall, and I'm wrecking these hoplites. My buddy moves up his chosen sword band to finish off something, I'm pretty sure. Chosen sword bands are great, but the Iceni version is actually better. They have shield wall. I have him blocking the places. I'm blocking the way of these two legionaries. They have to go through them, and my chosen sword band is killing this desert legion. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I anticipated to go for their rear, but I end up losing a ton of men without getting much kills. Then he sees me going for his rear and he charges me. So I eventually do back down. Now is when I moved up the archers to shoot them from the back. His Celtic sword band breaks, but his Celtic swordsmen are doing so-so. They're not doing the best, not against sword followers at least. His Celtic archers got a decent amount of kills. That one did. This one did not. And so he was whacking them up against sword followers. Am I firing? No, I'm not firing. I wasn't even firing. Now I do eventually start ganging up on this hoplite that didn't break, and I got a bunch of shots off of this sacred band, which he doesn't like getting shot, so he starts sending it at my Pontic sword. He also moved his Libyan infantry up there. If he had moved his Libyan infantry here, he would have crushed my Pontic swords. He sent a Libyan hoplite here, which did absolutely nothing, I think, because it's like a 300 talent unit that have a shit. That's a decent for the price, but it won't beat a Pontic swords. I don't know what he was aiming at. I think he was aiming at the tower, the African heavy non-nigger, but he misses all his shots onto the wall and eventually destroys it. But you can see that you can't get through from this wall, so it's useless destroying the wall. Yeah, so he pushes both of them up against my Pontic swords, which couldn't win, so I move this one up here and attacks too. Masaesily is moving his Desert Legionnaire up here, and I finished cleaning off his mercenary Italian. I got a pretty good amount of kills for Pontic swords. They only cost like as much as a Gallo Thracian, I'm pretty sure. Now my pikeman here does actually get wrecked, not get much kills. So to save it, I tried putting my general, which was a very bad move, as I anticipated for my general to come and block here, and my pikeman can successfully retreat. But he's shooting me from the walls with his Celtic bowman, and he's getting up on me with sword followers. And eventually the pikeman routs, but it does come back. But my general just gets wrecked and whipped by a boy ganging up on me. Very bad mistake, and they gave the general is dead penalty to my army. That could have cost me the game, but my opponent did some errors. Yeah, as you can see, I'm shooting his Desert Legionaries, because these can beat a thorax up front. Now he moves his Carthaginian hoplite that came back from routing and Libyan hoplite up. My Pontic swords is holding the Libyan infantry and the sacred band decently, and he moved the Desert Legionnaire here to try to hit my back. So we both see it and we both go for it, attacking it from the rear. He takes that chance to send the African pikemen and the Carthaginian hoplite in. I do not let them, as I put my Eastern Archer there to stop them, because if they don't go through the gate quickly enough, it's gonna take damage from the oil. Well, if they don't go through, he's trying to neutralize it with a Carthaginian hoplite and send the African pikemen in. I'm not gonna let him, so I'm gonna stop this hoplite with my Eastern Archers. And let's check how many men he lost. That was 20 men in like one oil push. He's losing more men as he advances. Now I eventually tell my teammate that, yeah, he's pushing through, so he moves his chosen sword band to stop it. I position my... I don't. So I'm bringing reinforcements over here. As you can see, my general is going up against his naked warrior. This is a bad choice, because they only have like 100 talent difference between them. And my general gets wrecked by his naked warriors. His naked warriors and sword followers are wrecking my general. My pikeman routes here, and so does most of Caledonii's infantry. He does have his chosen sword bands in reserve. Well, 2 of them are fighting. 2 are in reserve. This Desert Legionnaire gets down, but gets ganged up on by 2 Celtic warriors at decent health. I am starting to lose here against the Libyan infantry and the Sacred Band, so I do move this Pontic swords for a quick rear charge to break the Sacred Band. He sent his Wolfhound against the Carthaginian hoplites, but then I tell him, and then he moves his chosen sword band up here. Now Massaesily's desert legionnaires are getting whipped. They do get the towers, but my teammate only managed to neutralize it and not claim it back, or else this pikeman that would have moved in would take an oil damage. The Sacred Band did not do good. It got completely whipped. So I moved this Eastern Archers to shoot the Sacred Band, but I eventually do move it over here to shoot the African pikemen. As you can see, my general is getting murdered by Boii. And he has his Celtic swordsmen came back from routing to rear charge these, which did not go to great effect. But at least he got some kills. Never mind, he did not even get the rear charge. He did not even get the rear charge. 4 Celtic swordsmen. I don't know what Boii was trying to do. I think he was trying to go from here, which Masaesily tried it and didn't work. We're playing on Cyrene, by the way. So I eventually do rear charge the Sacred Band with this other unit of Pontic swords and break the other Libyan infantry. Then with the Pontic swords, I clean up the Sacred Band. As you can see, he's moving up his African pikemen. And I'm going to shoot him from pretty much point blank. The Pontic sword doing very good here are finally starting to waver. Keep in mind, they only have a morale of 50. I have 3 Pontic swords ganging up on a general bodyguard, a depleted Carthaginian hoplite, and a Libyan infantry, which somehow the Libyan infantry gets quite a lot of amount of kills against Pontic swords for its price. I think I move him up further, or I just start shooting at these African pikemen. Over here, Boii eventually cleans up. Boii has 2 Oathsworn, a full naked warriors, and a Celtic warrior left. He has a bunch of depleted Celtic warriors, a Celtic bowman, a depleted Celtic bowman, and a bunch of depleted units over here. Just have his Celtic warrior and naked warriors over here. They eventually do go up here and... Actually, no. They eventually get up here late game. Now, there isn't much action going on, so I'm going to speed this forward. I anticipated them going to rear charge my main line infantry here, so I try to block the path. These Eastern archers are firing at point blank on his pikemen. Masaesily does realize that he isn't going to push through over here. So he does go over to Carthage and try to help Carthage. But to pretty much no avail. Boii is moving up. I have this unit of Pontic swords and that unit of Pontic sword blocking the way for them to pass through, and then we're ganging up on his Sacred Band, which eventually routs. They do have excellent morale at 70, but he didn't use them correctly. If I were Carthage, I would have brought a noble fighter. They would have done much better than a Sacred Band attacking. His African pikemen are getting shot, as I said. How much kills on this? Yeah, this Trojan sword band did amazing. As you can see, Boii is moving up to try to hit my main aligned infantry from the rear. So I'm actually going to withdraw my units up here and set up a defensive formation here. But I do eventually shorten it here because the area was too big to cover. Right now, I'm retreating my units that are full. I retreated three mercenary Celtic warriors and 3 Pontic swords with 1 Eastern archers. The rest of the units, which were depleted, I just let them sit there and help me stab the enemy. Now the boy was trying to intercept my withdrawal by going that way. Now he's trying to intercept me, but I intercept my retreating units, but I intercept him with this Eastern archer that used up all the ammunition. Now he thought this was a brilliant target as an Eastern archer. Well, right now it's uncovered, but he's gonna see it soon. So he charges with naked sword and uses frenzy, which tires them out. But he actually wasted frenzy on a bunch of dudes with a bunch of daggers. Now a couple points I have to point out. I'm retreating here, by the way. Nothing really major is going on. He sends his wolfhound to stop them. The chosen swordband is trying to kill the noble cavalry. My depleted is coming to help. So put a couple of points. The Numidia doesn't have any archers. Carthage's 2 archers got wrecked. So my archers pretty much shot unopposed and was able to get a lot of kills because they were shooting unopposed. Out of the 3, I would say that Boii was the best player, Masaesily was the second best, and Carthage was the least best. You can see what's going on. Boii is trying to gang up on the rest of the units that are here. I don't know if he successfully does or does not. As I said before, I blocked these points, but I eventually moved back because I didn't have enough unit to cover them. And then now is them, after they killed most of the units, they are preparing for a final attack against the inner city, which actually has, on a 3v3 it wouldn't be balanced, but on a 2v3 it is balanced because you have 3 choke points, and you have a 4th gate that you could go if you decided to use a battering ram, not towers. So that's a lot of exits that you can choose to go from. So it's definitely balanced, unless like some map with an inner city with 1 exit, which is completely absurd. And if you stick a bunch of pikemen in there that are pike stacking, you can't really get through them. As I said, nothing major is going on. I'm repositioning, and they are repositioning. Numidia does attempt to... Where is this? Okay. Numidia does attempt to break down this wall to get in quicker, but his tortoises fails him. If you don't know, this is a bug in the game that instead of breaking a whole section, it just breaks like a chunk and you cannot walk through it. Watch. He's breaking that wall like normal. What he doesn't see is that, look at that wall. What is that? How are you supposed to get past that? Now, I resumed Boii before, but I'm going to do it again. So you have 2 Oathsworn, 2 Celtic warriors, and 2 naked warriors left. Carthage is pretty much depleted except his general, which only lost 13 men. Masaesily has their general. Masaesily has their general 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he has 4 Desert Legionnaire and 2 Desert Cohort, and a Tribal Slinger and a Heavy Numidian Skirmishers. Now they are clearing up this chosen sword band and getting ready for a final assault. There they're using general abilities. My general is dead, so I do not have such privileges. As you can see, there's still 29 minutes left in this replay. The 3 attacking factions, if used correctly, are a complete beast to deal with. So let me explain what's going to happen. So from this exit is Carthage and Boii are gonna go there. Boii actually is going to go from this exit, entrance, this entrance, and that entrance. Numidia goes from this entrance and then goes to that entrance. But Carthage, with pretty much no unit, ends up doing nothing. Right now, they're just repositioning, as I said earlier. What Numidia did a mistake here. He sent one Desert Legionnaire up front. What he was planning was to stand a standstill, but I saw an opportunity to get rid of that unit. He does send his general, but he doesn't actually charges it. As you can see, he's moving forward right now, not attempting to charge. But I move my Celtic warriors and I charge him. You see, I charge him, and then I cycle charge to death this Desert Legionnaire with my Pontic swords, which is a decently depleted, and my Celtic warriors, which is less depleted. As you can see, they were a full unit. They just lost 15 men, 16 men, and only killed 7. He does rush his naked sword there, but his 2 depleted naked sword, but I do stop it with my Celtic warriors. Desert Legionnaire lost 40 men and only killed 20. He lost 50 men and only killed 20. He does ends up pushing these 2 Celtic warriors up here to try to attack from this side, which I do move a lot more units. I have a Pontic sword here to move, and a Celtic, and yeah, that's pretty, and this other Pontic sword is full. Now they pretty much got everything ready for the final assault. This Legionnaire got wrecked by as a cycle charge, as I said. I'm holding off these Celtic warriors with this Pontic sword, but they're only Celtic warriors, and they weren't stacking because they're on the wall, so I decided to charge them. I'm pretty sure his general charges from there, but I'm not 100% sure. My depleted unit of pikemen that came back from routing there. For any cavalry trying to go through, there's these stakes, and if stakes doesn't stop them, you have mobile stakes, which are pikes. And then you have a bunch of javelins waiting for them. So eventually, after a bit of skirmishing, the Boii and Numidia pushes me back here. But in the meantime, I don't know why the camera keeps going there. Boii is going to try to push in from these two directions. He actually got some kills off of my eastern archers, but I do save it. Where he actually wastes his naked warriors to get some kill off of my eastern archers, which then gets attacked by this Pontic sword. This Pontic sword actually dies because I eventually lose this part of the city and was not able to attack it. He does charge me to the back. He has a Desert Legionnaire over there, trying to go through here, but it ain't him trying. He found a gap and he exploited it, put it in a box formation, and tried to get through it, which didn't quite work to his favor as I ended up recharging and wasting this Desert Legionnaire, which I'm pretty sure did less better than the other one over here. Here are just a bunch of depleted units that I'm finishing off. Now, Boii sends one Oathsworn here, and his general over here. His Celtic swords actually lost to that Oathsworn, but he actually has backup. As you can see, he is moving. My teammate is moving the general up here, and Boii is moving up his Oathsworn. I chase his general, trying to get a volley of javelin off, but I actually do get rear charged by this depleted unit of Desert Legionnaires, which I eventually kill. And he was busy going up for this Pontic sword that had done his job on the wall. So I had time before his main corps arrives to retreat my Pontic swords up here. The Celtic swords do decent on defense because they're not in an open space, but he is going to lose, so he's going to start shooting with some elite Highland archers. They're not the best archers. They cost a lot. They only have 125 range. They don't have heavy shot, and they don't have great armor either. As I mentioned before, ED is Empire Divided is completely not balanced. I just call it ED. So he's gonna try to get some volleys from my eastern archers. He's not depleted, he's baiting volleys, but I actually don't let him bait the volleys, and I shoot him whenever he's here, and I don't shoot whenever he's not here. He's gonna attack with this Libyan hoplite that got quite a number of kills. I don't know on what. And this Carthaginian hoplite that got a good amount of kills. Not great, good. I didn't see him charging naked sword, but it was an uphill charge with his naked warriors. This Oathsworn is getting ganged up by his general. Wait, let's check what is over there. So over here, his general didn't do anything. So there's a Celtic swordman. Oh yeah, my pikeman was there to help, which is why this Celtic swordman beat the Oathsworn. But the Oathsworn also didn't really get killed by the Celtic swordman, because the Celtic swordman was there to clean up the Oathsworn. It was actually getting shot by the Highland archers, which by now moved here to shoot the Cretans, which still had some ammunition. I do see over here that he does move his desert cohort here and attempt to kill the desert cohort with the fireballs. Now I have this depleted unit of Pontic swordsmen and initiate the fireball. Watch. The desert cohort is at 160 men. After I put the fireball, it actually kills some of his depleted unit. I move this back because I don't want him getting friendly fire, because you never know where fireballs will go. But luckily, only one of the fireballs hits, and it just obliterated 50 men in this cohort. The Celtic warriors routed, and now he's moving up. So now I'm gonna send my Pontic swords here to finish off this depleted desert cohort that pretty much didn't do anything. He is shooting his artillery, but he could have actually moved it up here and to get a better shot. He's shooting it at my teammate's general, which that was actually a devastating volley. 20 men killed there and 3 Highland archers killed. I moved up my Celtic warriors against Carthaginian hoplites, which somehow they're winning. I have more men, but I do move my pikemen to get some kills, not a lot of kills. That's depleted. I also have some fresh pikemen that I'm going to help myself clear away this desert cohort. There's this unit of desert Numidian skirmishers, or heavy Numidian skirmishers, that he does not shoot his javelin, but he just tries to exploit a gap and come for a rear charge, which I don't really let that happen. My archers were doing weird stuff and ended up walking here. If you don't know, on Cyrene on large, this is a very good position. This is the capture point of these 2 towers. This Carthaginian hoplite does die, and this Oathsworn did not do well either, as it is getting shot from the back from some elite Highland archers, which is 40 damage. That's quite a lot of damage. How much armor piercing? 4 armor piercing. Not great, but not bad. Good. Yes. Pontic Swords was losing to this desert cohort. He withdrew his chosen swordband to help fight the Oathsworn. Chosen swordband would have actually lost, but he has his other general bodyguard there. The depleted Oathsworn that routed actually came back, but he did not see it and moves his Celtic swords. Actually, he saw that. He was just going to attack it with a Celtic swordband, and not the Celtic swordsman, which he needed somewhere else. Now, Desert Cohort are better than Desert Legionaries, so they're actually gonna win, even depleted, which is why I moved my pikemen up here. But Numidian, who was a good sport, putting his slingers up there, actually did some push through. I didn't know if it was intended or not, but that is push through. What's happening here is he's trying to get to my pikemen, while I'm cycle charging with my Pontic swords. He's also using his Numidian skirmishers, which didn't get much kills because he ran them into infantry. Right now he's just running them into pikes. Caledonii moves his general up here to back me up, because he actually has 2 Desert Legionaries. I don't know why he didn't push them 3 Desert Legionaries. 2 desert and a desert cohort. I do not know why he pushed them in like a wave. He pushed them one at a time. That's why they actually got destroyed. Noble cavalry from Carthage is the worst cavalry. It has the same melee attack and weapon damage as citizen cavalry. Now at this point, all that was left was Numidia. Boii and Carthage was gone. The balance of power is still not in our favor. He has this. I'm pretty sure he still has ammunition on that onager. The Pontic Swords is killing the Desert Legionaries by the help of the pikemen. I didn't use my pikes that great in this game. I'm pretty sure I still have a couple of volleys left on my archers. Nope, I'm out of ammunition and I'm going to charge them straight in. But he's actually shooting with the Numidian skirmishers against my pikemen at point blank. So I'm going to actually give attacking orders onto the desert cohort, because I don't want I'm trying to absorb javelins. This desert cohort is going to easily win against this chosen sword band, but the bodyguard interferes, right? The general interferes and caught them off guard. Which, I don't know, who's gonna win? But, oh yeah, true. He also has this 80 unit, half a unit of Celtic swordsman, in which that is 2/3 of a unit. What do you pop? Battle rhythm? Okay. So he's actually going to cycle charge to death with these 3 units to death out of the desert cohort. Right now he got 2 desert legionaries left, and my pikeman got so amount of kills. He's missing all his shots on his artillery. Now these elite Highland archers, I'm pretty sure. Pause for a second. Yep, they're out of armor. Look at these cool skins. But this is Empire Divided. And so he's gonna go for the artillery. Because even out of ammunition, there's 112 men against 40 men. As I was saying, the desert cohort is getting cycle charged. These are losing due to my pikemen being there. They actually get a good amount of kills for pikemen. Not the best I've ever seen, but it's still not the worst like the other pikemen that absolutely got trashed because I left it there. So he's trying to charge his general over here to break this 74 men. Not break, but and then go charge my rear. But he realizes last second that there's stakes here, and decides to, how do I say, reposition his cars. Yes. Now, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, where does my teammate's general go? Heavy melee infantry. Not very heavy. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, yeah, I asked him for support as my pikeman is actually losing to these 2 desert missionaries, so they're going to come here and help clean up the mess. At this point, my Pontic swords routed. Actually, no, they completely shattered. Now, as I was saying, he was going to use the elite Highland archers to go finish up this artillery, and he would charge everything onto these desert legionaries. But still, even to this time, the balance of power isn't in our favor. Numidia does get his... What is he doing with his general? Okay, he tries to go up here, I think. Does he? Yes, he tries to go up here, but there's stakes here that he did not see this time. So he is losing cavalry and stone beat. So he's getting shot by towers. There's stakes. So he just lost 20 men. 22. Around 30 men going uphill. And now it's 24 men against 69 Celtic swords. He plummets through them, gets a decent amount of kills, but there's another chosen sword band to follow up. Which, that is the end of this heavy Numidian riders, which, with as much kills as it is supposed to get. 160. Come on, 160. Or does it not even get 160? He tried to go for the attack in the rear penalty, but he got close to 160. Now he still has this 2 unit of desert legionaries, but this bodyguard and this pikeman is going to finish him off. His general eventually routs, and they have the shaken losing combat and general dead penalty, which you don't actually see. I'm trying to go from there, so I tell my teammate to go from there. My pikeman got a good, as I said, a good amount of kills against these desert legionaries, which this general got spectacular amount of kills. That was battle worth. So pretty much now you know the results. Or do you? This is actually a very close battle. Now he moves it back and gets attacked in the rear. And that will be the end of this battle. And the end of Numidia. Good game. He does eventually break, but he actually has these 2 units of tribal slingers there, which could actually turn the tide of the battle, but he ended up conceding. There's still 1 minute before he concedes, so I'm going to speed this up. Tell me in the comments if you would like to see more land battle or more city assault, like this one. Ten more seconds until he concedes. And there you have it. That is the battle. Let's check. Pyrrhic victory. I wouldn't say it's Pyrrhic. I would say it was a glorious victory. But yes, it's actually Pyrrhic because we barely won. Let's check. Me as Emperor Kandikatsu. My general did horrible. The cavalry did okay. And got a chevron because it was actually it's fighting Cretans. The archers did spectacular. And each got a chevron. The mercenary Celtic warriors did absolutely fantastic for their price. 2 of them got a chevron. This pikeman was the pikeman I wasn't paying attention to. This pikeman had some men left and did very good for its price. It didn't do very good, it did good. Now, I lost 25,000 men and I killed 30,000. Look at my Pontic swords. Though this one did okay, this one did spectacular. So these 4 carried the army. This one did not as great. These 3 did not that good. And these 5 did spectacular. Caledonii lost 2,200 and killed 2,500. The Oathsworn bodyguard did spectacular. One of the Celtic archers did good. Look how many chevrons this Highland archers has. It was shooting at some expensive unit. Celtic sword band. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 chevrons on my Pontic swords. So he has 4 Celtic sword band, which did absolutely horrible. He has 4 Celtic swordsmen, which did okay. And he has the 4 chosen sword band, which did spectacular. He also has a Scatha shadow that just didn't do as good, but the Wolfhound did pretty good for its price. Now, that was Shadow King. Credits to Shadow King. Playing as Numidia or Masaesily is Master Chef with 158 kills on his general, 110 kills on the African onager. He could have gotten more. The Numidian skirmishing didn't pay for itself. I'm gonna skip these 2. The tribal slingers wrecked itself. He went with a classic Masaesily legionary spam. Slave infantry did horrible. Desert cohort did okay, and Desert legionary did horrible. Only these 2 units did good. The rest did horrible. He lost all his men and killed half of them. I'm not going to pronounce this name here because it is not safe for work. Noble cavalry did good for its price. The Carthaginian heavy onager did bad. He could have brought it up brought in a heavy Carthaginian ballista to break the walls. Carthaginian cavalry in general and bodyguard did horrible. Mercenary Cretan archers did horrible. Pikemen did horrible. This one did okay, good, great. These two did okay. The late Carthaginian hoplite did horrible. The Libyan hoplite did good. Libyan infantry did okay. The Italian swordsman did horrible, and the sacred band got raped. These two also in here pooped himself. Yeah, that's what I was thinking for. The sword follower did great. As you see, this is a 500 kill difference only. So the sword follower were great. All of them did better than the sword. The naked warriors did spectacular for naked warriors on a city assault, as you wouldn't usually bring them. These three Celtic warriors did good, and these two did not. His archers did not do that good. Anyways, that is gonna be all for today. If you liked my content, you can share them. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to me. Emperor Candy Katsu of Kandai here, signing out.